Make no mistake about it, Ryan Wedding is a modern-day iteration of Pablo Escobar. He's a modern-day iteration of El Chapo Guzman.
That sure makes a great soundbite from FBI Director Kash Patel. He was announcing the intensifying hunt and a $15 million bounty for a fugitive accused of being a most unusual cocaine kingpin, a man who was a former Canadian Olympic snowboarder. But I'm not sure the FBI's comparison holds up under scrutiny. Hang around and I'll come back to that in a moment. But first, Ryan Wedding has been hitting headlines hard this year, just as hard as he once hit the slopes. And a flurry of more headlines came recently when the head of the FBI joined U.S. Attorney Pam Bondi and the head of Canada's federal police to announce more shocking news. Coordinated arrests, indictments, and financial sanctions targeting Wedding's alleged organization, including a network of his accused enablers, from sicario hitmen and a Canadian lawyer to a brothel madam, bookkeeper, soldiers, propagandist, businessman, even his wife. Oh, and his girlfriend. The Mob Reporter here with news on the alarming network of seemingly legitimate professionals who are accused of keeping $1 billion drug cartel afloat. Who they are, what they look like, and what they supposedly did, and why they are so important. Let me tell you about it. Wedding is gaining a huge reputation as a fearsome and successful narco in Mexico, the heartland for modern cartels, which seems improbable considering he is a gringo and was once a clean-cut Olympic athlete from Thunder Bay in Canada. I told you about Ryan Wedding in an earlier video, which I'll link to at the end and in the description, but things have changed, for him and for us. There was a nasty hit on an informant who had betrayed Wedding. That went down in Colombia in January and threatens to derail the major cross-border investigations. With Wedding still beyond reach of the FBI, they targeted those around him who have allegedly been helping him survive and thrive. They called them his network of enablers, and some of them are truly scandalous. Let's meet the lawyer. Deepak Paradkar is a prominent defense lawyer in and around Toronto. He was arrested at his large house north of the city at the request of U.S. authorities, but he didn't come out quietly or quickly. Lawyers always have something to say. Paradkar is accused of abusing his position as a lawyer to help Wedding and Andrew Clark, that's Wedding's alleged second-in-command, in several ways, including allegedly in the prelude to the hit on the government witness. This one was shocking to me because I know Paradkar well. He's in my phone contacts. I've reported on his cases for years. He appears in some early Mob Reporter videos. He represented serial killer Dylan Millard and the Yahoo hacker Karim Baratov. He's had success springing accused gang members and dope dealers from jail. His car collection caught my attention: a Hummer, Lamborghini, a cobalt blue Maserati. He described his Jaguar F-Pace as being cocaine white. He had a provocative Instagram account called Cocaine Lawyer. Boy, did that rankle fellow lawyers. Prosecutors now allege he wasn't just providing edgy legal advice. They describe him in documents to support his arrest as, quote, an integral member of the Wedding drug trafficking organization's day-to-day operations, unquote. He is accused of introducing Wedding to trusted transportation networks, some of them his past clients. He also is accused of abusing his position as a lawyer to gather information when a Wedding coke shipment was seized or his people arrested. Allegedly, he had a particular focus on determining whether any of them were cooperating with the cops. Here's a photo of Paradkar that he sent of himself to Clark, the FBI alleges. This is closer to how he looked in court recently when I last saw him after his arrest, graying and bearded. But in court, where he is facing extradition to the United States, he wore much less fashionable attire. It was an orange jumpsuit. He is 62 years old. Wedding prosecutors claim paid Paradkar in bulk cash drops and luxury watches. Shortly after the first indictment was announced against Wedding, which revealed a snitch in the organization, Paradkar allegedly advised Wedding that if the cooperating witness was eliminated and couldn't appear in court, then the indictment against Wedding would almost certainly be dismissed. A few months later, the witness was shot 5 times in the head. None of the allegations against Paradkar, or any of the alleged enablers, have been proven in court. The bookkeeper. Rolan Sokolovski, 37, is accused of being the bookkeeper and one of 2 main money launderers for the Wedding organization. The FBI links him to large transactions in cryptocurrency, bulk cash, and wire transfers. A witness said he used a Binance account, Qcoin, and Tether for a lot of it. Sokolovski is a jeweler by trade and runs a jewelry business in downtown Toronto. He has also been a professional poker player. He was good enough to make it into the World Series of Poker a few times, but never ranked well. In court documents, U.S. authorities allege Sokolovski withdrew $113 million through a cryptocurrency account and acquired luxury items for Wedding and Clark, including jewelry, vehicles, and other high-end assets. After January's murder of the witness, he allegedly made a bejeweled necklace as a reward for one of the hitmen. The wife, Miryam Andrea Castillo Moreno, 34, is named as his wife. I'm not sure when Wedding's wedding was. She was born in Mexico in Nuevo Leon, a hotspot for cartel activity. Some published reports claim she has family ties to a cartel, which helped insulate Wedding in a crowded and violent field, especially as an outsider in Mexico. U.S. authorities alleged that she helped launder proceeds for her husband and, quote, helped him conduct acts of violence, unquote, although there are 0 specifics outlined by authorities, and she is not named in either criminal indictment, only in allegations made by the U.S. Treasury Department, which apply financial sanctions. The girlfriend. Oh, I think U.S. officials were being intentionally provocative here, posting Wedding's wife's photograph on the sanctions announcement right beside a photo of his, quote, Colombian girlfriend, unquote. Daniela Alejandra Acuna Macias, 23, was born in Barranquilla, Colombia. That's home to a large port facing the Caribbean Sea that has long been a major hub for cocaine trafficking. She has, authorities claim, collected hundreds of thousands of dollars from Wedding to live a lifestyle funded by violent narcotic trafficking. She has assisted Wedding in obtaining information on his rivals, Treasury officials allege. She isn't named in the criminal indictments either. The soldier. Gianluca Tiepolo, 50, is a former member of Italy's Special Forces. He allegedly had 2 roles in the Wedding organization. In one, he ran a military-style tactical training academy with camps that allegedly trained many of Wedding's hitmen. The company's promotional material, some of it seen here, say they focus on training law enforcement. Their social media accounts include photos of a visit to Colombia's Interpol office. In encrypted chats, members of the Wedding organization called him the Italian, prosecutors say. The Treasury Department claims he procured and managed Wedding's physical assets and put millions of dollars worth of Wedding's property under his own name. The soldier owns 2 companies that trade in high-end motorcycles and cars, one of them in Italy and one in Britain. One very impressive asset the FBI has linked to Wedding is this fabulous and rare sports car, a 2002 Mercedes CLK GTR. It was originally designed for racing. There were only 6 of these open-top roadsters made. It was once listed in the Guinness Book of Records as the most expensive production car ever made. The FBI's photos don't really do it justice. Here is what a CLK GTR looks like when a professional auction site photographs it. That's much better. The FBI said it belonged to the Wedding organization without providing details and valued it at $13 million. But oops, it looks like there is some body damage. That's gotta put a dent in the price. A source told me it was seized last month in Miami, but the seizure warrant is sealed by a judge. The influencer. The indictment names Gursewak Singh Bal as the founder and operator of the Dirty News. That's a Canadian crime blog with social media accounts that irreverently post underworld news and gossip. The site had some swagger. Here's its splash page from August. Prosecution documents allege that when Wedding was hunting the witness, he told another Canadian, Allistair Chapman, to contact the guy at Dirty News for help. They wanted him to post some information, including a photo of the snitch to help expose him, but also not to post anything about Wedding's indictment. A November 2024 post on Singh Bal's Instagram allegedly used emojis of a rat and a globe, along with a photo of the witness, in a message that said, "This guy single-handedly ratted out one of the strongest underworld networks that this world has seen. Good chance he'll never be found again," authorities allege. The feds say Singh Bal was paid $10,000 for his service. And if that's true, I gotta say, that's public relations, not journalism. Here is Singh Bal in a sketch from his recent court appearance. This past summer, an undercover cop in Canada reached out to Singh Bal, pretending to be a bad guy willing to pay him to help find a rat, authorities alleged. Singh Bal is accused of agreeing to a meeting and bragging that he worked for, quote, really serious people, even snowboarder, unquote. He allegedly said, "Crypto is how snowboarder sent us 10 grand. A police surveillance team watched him come and go from his home on a bicycle. The day before the indictment was publicly revealed, the Dirty News website was seized by the FBI. When you go there now, you're greeted with this splash page, a notice from the FBI. Singh Bal is now 31. Authorities want him extradited to California to face charges of conspiracy to distribute cocaine, conspiracy to commit murder, and conspiracy to tamper with a witness. If he's extradited and found guilty of that, he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. The Madam. Carmen Yelinet Florez is described by U.S. authorities as a Colombian national who runs a high-end prostitution ring in Mexico. Officials say she introduced the 44-year-old Wedding to his 23-year-old Colombian girlfriend. The Madam herself turned 48 last week. Authorities allege she helped Wedding in the murder of the witness. According to the indictment and other prosecution documents, she and her network of sex workers gathered intel about the witness before he was killed. The Businessman. 2 businessmen were also hit with economic sanctions by the U.S. Treasury for alleged links to Wedding's empire. Cristian, 50, is an Italian citizen who was an official of 2 of the Soldier's companies, including the military training company, which business records show registered in Diana's name. John Fallon, 63, is a British citizen named as the director of a UK-based car and motorcycle dealership. A business registry shows Fallon as a minority shareholder of the firm, with the Soldier listed as majority owner. The General. Edgar Aaron Vazquez Alvarado, 41, is believed to be a former Mexican law enforcement officer who maintains ties to current police officers. His nickname is El General, or the General. Vazquez is responsible for providing protection for Wedding within Mexico, U.S. officials allege. One part of that is using police contacts to locate people who endanger Wedding. Born in Mexico City, the General also owns several businesses, including a private security firm and 2 companies dealing in wholesale fuel. Now let's return to Kash Patel's comparison of Ryan Wedding to El Chapo and Pablo Escobar. El Chapo, the notorious Mexican narco, ran rampant for 30 years. When he was on trial, he was declared head of the largest drug trafficking organization in the world, with a multi-billion-dollar empire and vast network of corrupt officials. And Escobar? Well, will history ever forget Pablo Escobar? At his peak in the 1980s, his Colombian cartel flooded the United States with an estimated 80 tons of cocaine per month. Escobar had so much power and created such fear that judges and cops often wore ski masks when dealing with him, meaning that while Wedding seems to be hiding from authorities, authorities were hiding from Escobar. By comparison, Wedding is accused of moving more than 60 tons of cocaine a year into the United States, an enormous amount for sure, but far short of history's most infamous drug lords. The hunt for Ryan Wedding continues. Clark, his alleged number 2, was arrested in Mexico last year. Please remember, an indictment contains allegations only, and it has not yet been tested in court. Please also tap the thanks button to leave me a tip for my no robot content, and give this video a like, and leave a comment. That helps juice the algorithm, which helped me a lot. And please make sure you're subscribed to the Mob Reporter and set your notifications to all. Thanks for watching to the end.